for another challenge. So I have a 3-day weekend because Monday is President's Day, so we don't have school. And my goal, as you can see by the title, is I want to attempt a 24-hour reading challenge. And I don't mean I'll start at like a certain time and then end at the certain time the next day. I want to actually sit there and read for 24 hours and see how much I can read. So I have enough time over the 3 days to kind of use as my 24 hours. So anytime I'm not reading, I'm going to stop the timer and just pick it back up when I am reading. I do have 2 books I'm in the middle of, and I'm reading them on my Kindle. And the first one is Hooked, and I actually do need to finish that by this weekend, so I think this challenge is going to really help me finish the book. I'm almost done. I'm like 80-something% in. And then the other book I'm reading is Phantasma, and I'm barely kind of into that, so I'm hoping that maybe within this 24-hour reading challenge I can completely finish the book and I'll have 2 books down. But I'm just going to jump right into it. Right now it's 11:32. Time is not really specific since I'm just kind of stopping and starting the clock. But I'm going to go ahead and go to my timers, and we're going to go ahead and put 24 hours. So I have my book pulled up. We'll go ahead and start the timer. So for some reason it only lets me do 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, which is basically 24 hours. So we'll go ahead and we'll start that. So an update, we're not even a full hour in. I'm at 23 hours and 9 minutes and 30 seconds left, if you can kind of see at the top. And I already finished the first book. So that was Hooked that I finished. When I started, I think I was at 88% of the way, so I was nearly almost done. So I finished that. And for the next 23 hours, I'll be reading this one. I highly doubt it'll take me 23 hours to read this, even though I'm not that far in. I've only read about this much. But I am reading it on the Kindle, but I do like looking at the pages on here just because of the way she has them. They're pretty interesting. Like, you'll have a full page of like this, which I think is so nice. And then after that, maybe we could pick a book together and figure out what I'll read next. I have a couple of ideas on what I want to read, but I'm not exactly sure which one I want to pick. But still have a lot of time. I will go ahead and jump into this one, and I can give you guys an update a little bit later to see how much I've gotten through. So we'll see how long that takes me to read that, but I do want to go ahead and get started. I am very much in the reading mood for this weekend, and finishing a book, it's always a very accomplishing feeling that I just want to keep going and live in that momentum of the reading. So I'll stop talking, I'll start my timer again, and I'll get into Phantasma. Alright, it's a bit later. By a bit, it's a bit later. It's 6 p.m. I feel like I keep stopping the timer. I didn't realize how much of a life I have. I left to go get coffee, which I did drink because I wanted to make sure I didn't take a nap. Especially when I had my contacts in. For some reason they make me so tired, but I took them out, so I feel 10 times more awake than I was earlier. And after finishing that book, I've made it further into Phantasma, you can see, but I'm still not that much in. But that's because apparently I'm still at, you can see, nearly 22 hours, and I started this around like 11:30. I don't know what I keep doing to like stop the timer, and I only want to keep it on when I'm actually reading because I want to literally know how much I'll read within 24 hours. I still have 2 whole days. Tomorrow I will be going out though because it is my sister's birthday today, so we're gonna go do something tomorrow. I have the whole night to read. I plan on reading. I'm even going to read for the next hour while I make a baked potato. for dinner. So I definitely still will keep reading, and I'm loving this book. It's so good. It's so interesting, and I heard that this is a lot like the Caraval series, so now I'm really intrigued to read that one. But if anyone's looking for a good kind of like supernatural romance book, this one's it. And it's, I want to say it's probably not much of a slow burn, but we have so much else going on that it does kind of feel like a slow burn. Like the main characters are attracted to each other and they're like making flirty comments, but they're not really doing much about it, which I don't like when people do things too soon. So it is really nice. There is so much supernatural, like ghost kind of like elements in this that's really intriguing, and the games, because this is all about her going to a place called Phantasma and having to survive and not get killed during these challenges. It gives off very Hunger Game vibes, but it just make it supernatural, I guess, because there's a bunch of like ghouls and phantoms and devils. So that's pretty interesting. So it's not the book. I'm loving this. I want to keep reading. I think I just have a problem consistently doing something for a long period of time. I tend to get bored very easily of doing just one thing, that I need breaks to go and do something else, and that's probably why I keep pausing the timer, is that I'm just kind of getting antsy like sitting and just reading. And it's like, okay, well, I want to know what's going on Instagram. I want to probably do my schoolwork. I want to probably organize my reading journal for the book that I just finished. Like, there's so many other things that like I'm thinking about doing that it's making it a little bit harder to just sit there and read, even though I do just want to sit there and read. So that's a little bit of the harder part. Maybe the further I get into the hours, the more easier it might become. That's just my own personal problem that I have with doing a certain thing for too long of a time. But I definitely want to keep reading because I am really loving the book, and I really do think that I can finish this within the 24 hours, and we can definitely, again, pick the book out together. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up all the food ready so I can start making it, and then that kind of like hour range where it takes to make, I'll just keep reading, and then I can update you guys a little bit later. I do plan on going to the gym tonight, and I've been reading while I'm at the gym, where I'll walk on the treadmill and I'll just like read, and it makes the treadmill go by a lot faster, where I'm not actually focusing on, do I still have to keep walking? The last time I did it, I like walked 2 miles and I didn't even realize I walked 2 miles. So it'll definitely be a good space to keep reading and keep going. So I'll go ahead and do that. That's enough of my little updates, and I'll touch base later. Hopefully I'm a lot further down in the time, rather than still being basically almost at 22 hours. Like, that's only 2 hours I read. I feel like I'm making it harder than it needs to be. But anyways, I'll quit yapping because, again, I'm pushing the time off, and I'll get back into reading. Okay, sorry if the lighting in here is not so great. It is later in the day. It's 10:09 p.m. and let me get my phone. Okay, so it's 10:09 p.m. and my timer is a little under 20 hours. If it'll focus, there it is. So it feels like it's not that much, but the fact that I am only reading when the timer is going, that is like, what, about like 4-ish hours? If I can math. And I finally made it into the 200 page range, so I am very, very close to being halfway through the book. And again, I'm absolutely loving it. They finally are getting together, the two main characters for like the couple. So that's super exciting because things are actually picking up the pace, and the challenges of the game that she's in is picking up as well. It's getting more difficult and more deadly, and I'm just really liking it. It's making it easy for this challenge because I'm not dreading picking it up. Like, it's not a hard read, because there's some books where it's like, ugh, I kind of need a break from this, but this one I am absolutely devouring. I'm loving it so much. So it's not like a daunting task to pick the book back up, but it is later, and normally the gym dies down around this time, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the gym, and I'll do whatever I need to do beforehand before I go on the treadmill, and then when I go on the treadmill I'll start the timer again and I'll continue reading on my Kindle and see how much further I get done. Hopefully I can get another like hour or so in, and we'll see how tired I am when I come back from the gym to see if I want to keep reading before I go to bed. For a minute there when I was reading right now, I got kind of tired, so we'll see kind of how I feel. But maybe I can get this number down to 18. That way tomorrow and the next day, like I'll have to split 18 between those two. But I thought I'd get a lot more done than I actually got done today, so maybe this is harder than I initially thought it was going to be. I didn't think it'd be that bad, especially having 3 days, but the fact that I really want to try to read, like only read within those 24 hours might be a bit of a challenge, or it is becoming a bit of a challenge. But I am reading a lot and I'm loving what I'm reading. So anyways, I'll go ahead and I'll go to the gym and I'll update you guys a little bit later, maybe tomorrow morning, that way I can update you on the number. So I'll see you then. Alright, so it's the next day and I didn't read as much as I wanted to yesterday, but that's okay because we still have 2 more days to get this challenge done. As of currently, I have 18 hours and 49 minutes. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see because the window's right behind. So I'm still reading Phantasma. I actually made it 50% into the book, whereas before I think I was like 20% in. So I've got a lot more done. I plan on finishing this today. I'm in love, in love with the book. I'm not sure if I'll give it a 5-star, but it's up there. So if you're looking for a good book to read, I'd recommend it. But anyways, today it'll be a little bit iffy about how much I can get done just because I am going out with my sister for today. So I'll have to figure out how to squeeze in that almost 19 hours basically because it's 18:49, and just kind of split it up. But since I don't have work tomorrow on Monday because it's President's Day, I should be able to stay up kind of late and read. And any chance like I'm gonna be taking this with me if we're sitting in the car, sitting somewhere, like I will best I can. But I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for the day and then I will update you guys later to see when I can start my reading. Okay, update time. So I just got back from the zoo. That's what me and my sister did for this weekend. Sorry, you're gonna fall off. That's better. I'm afraid to take my hat off because I will definitely have hat hair. But I'm calling for an extension. There is no way I'm going to read 18 hours within the rest of today and tomorrow. I mean, I guess day-wise it doesn't really matter because my whole goal is to finish the timer. So I just want to continue going through the timer no matter how many days it takes. If I have to continue like after school, after work, during my lunch, on school, or at work, then I guess I have to. Bit of a bummer because I kind of wish that I could have finished within the 3 days just so I can kind of actually make it feel more like a 24-hour challenge. But it technically still is. I'm at 18 hours, 6 minutes, and 55 seconds. I really just didn't have much time today to do it. And I definitely want to keep reading now, but unfortunately I do need to work on some schoolwork and I should edit another video to upload because I've been not doing that and I'd like to upload the content that I'm recording. So I'm going to make that my focus, but I will read for tonight. But again, there's going to be no way that even if I do read tonight, I could probably read for like 2 hours, which would get me down to 16, but then I'd have to read 16 hours for tomorrow. And as much as I love reading, I have a life. So there's other things that like have to be done. So I'll continue this on another day or on the next couple days, maybe throughout this week. But I'll keep updating you guys. I'm, again, still really liking Phantasma. I can open up my Kindle and see the percentage that I'm on and the page. So on the Kindle is the page difference, or it has a page difference from the actual physical copy of the book. So I'm on page 240, chapter 30, and I'm 54% of the way through. I really just want to pick it up. I don't want to do schoolwork. I want to lay in bed, start my timer, and just keep reading because this book is really capturing my whole entire attention. It's just so fast paced, and I just like the love interest, like the way they mesh together. I love it. But unfortunately, I should be responsible and I should at least get an assignment or two done. That way I'm not super behind. I'd like to get ahead for the week, especially given that if you watched my last video, the one that I need to work on, I did a reset video. So let's not ruin all of the work that I put to set myself up. Then I'll just kind of update you guys tomorrow, most likely, which is going to be Monday. And let you know where I'm at with the reading process and the timer. So I guess I'll see you guys then. Okay, day number 3. I didn't really do too much reading last night. I ended up just editing my video and then submitted it this morning. And then I did a couple of assignments for school. I still have a couple that I need to do. So this will definitely be continuing more than the 3 days. For right now, starting off the day, even though it's like 1:30 p.m. basically, we're at about 17 hours, 51, and then 07. So this may take all week at this point. But that's okay, because I genuinely want to see, within a 24-hour period, how much can I read. And, I mean, I'm pretty much getting through this book on the Kindle so fast. Considering how many hours are left and how far I've gotten into it. But I'm just going to keep reading. I'm at page 247, 56% of the way through. I'm hoping that I can finish it today. I know it's kind of asking for a lot because I do have schoolwork to get done. And I want to kind of make sure that that's my priority. But I'm really loving this book, and I'm dying to find out how it ends. It's just so good that I just kind of want to keep going, and I don't want to take the breaks to do my schoolwork. But anyways, that's where I'm at. So I'll go ahead and I'll update you guys probably later today and see where we're at in between schoolwork and all of the hours that we still have left.
Hey. How y'all doing?
Hey! So it's the next weekend, and I think I only did like 2 hours of reading throughout the week. It was just such a busy week for school that I didn't have much time, so I'm planning on finishing it this weekend. Let's not put an exact deadline on that though, but I should have enough time this weekend to get it done. Let's hope. I do need to study for my exam on Monday, so I'm counting Monday as like part of my weekend just because I don't have work. But on my timer, I have almost like 16 hours, so 15:54. I'm leaving the house now to go to like a book club with some of my friends to like review one of the books that we read, which was the first book that I finished for this video, which was Hooked. And then when I come back, I can really start reading. Throughout here and there, I do need to do some schoolwork and like study, but I'm really dedicating this time to this weekend. I genuinely think that I can do it within 3 days, because what is 16 divided by 3? Let's do some math. So I just have to read for 5 hours each day. That's not too bad. I could do that, especially because I'm really liking the book that I'm on, and I'm almost done. I think I have like 100 pages left, and then again we can pick another book together. It's about to be March, so maybe I want to pick a book more related towards March, I guess like a theme. Maybe during the book club we'll pick a book there, and then I could start reading that one just to kind of get ahead. So I don't know. Sorry this is taking a lot longer. I kind of thought I had enough time last weekend, but school kind of got crazy. plans are still on, trying to figure out how many pages I can read in 24 hours. So I'm gonna go so that I'm not running late, but then when I come back, I will update you guys on how much I have read a little bit later in the day. I'm back from my little first book club with some friends, and we were able to review that first book I read earlier in this video, which was Hooked. So that was pretty fun, and now I'm home and I'll do some maybe homework assignments a little bit later. I think I just at least want to get 2 of them done today, but I want to prioritize my reading. And I can show you how far or how much left I have of Phantasmas. I've read this huge big chunk, so I just have this little bit left, so I'm almost done. I'm dedicated to finishing it. I want to say today, but I feel like if I say that, it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to say I'm dedicated to finishing it. But I'm going to go ahead and maybe just make a quick snack and get to reading and hopefully be uninterrupted, even though my cat's meowing at me. She's quiet now, but she was meowing at me and following me around the house. So hopefully I'll get some quiet time to finish it. I think I have about 100 pages. It's looking like maybe 120 pages left, so I'm hoping that I can finish this. I think I can read about a page a minute, it seems like. Watch that be completely wrong when we find out how much I've read in the past 24 hours. But right now, again, we're at 15 hours and 54 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer, get comfy in bed with a snack, and I will let you know what we're at a little bit later. Hopefully my next check-in is that I finish the book so we can plan the next read. Alright, so I've been reading for a bit. I have 14 hours left on my timer. And this book, I've been raving about it the whole video, but there is just something that I read that I was like audibly like about, like, what the fuck? And I'm so close. I am 87% of the way through. Like, I only have like this much left, probably less because I was reading it on there. I feel like there's like end things probably on the Kindle that's probably not on here. Oh my goodness. There's so much happening that I figured maybe it'd be interesting to capture my reaction in case there's any more. Otherwise, we'll just make this a little montage of me reading, but this book is insane. In a good way, though. Done. Oh, I can't tell if I'm tired because of the contacts I had earlier, if I'm just tired because I've been reading for hours, or if I'm just tired just to be tired. But that was such a good book. I rated it 4, which I feel like is really, really good because it's really hard for me, I feel like, lately to rank a book as a 5-star. I'm very particular, I guess, more than I used to be. I feel like when I first started reading, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, 5-star, 5-star, I love it. This was so good, but there were certain things I was like, okay, you're kind of like lacking a bit. But it was really good. They do have a lot of spicy scenes, but that is to be expected because it is like a fantasy romance book. not like dark romance, because it was still like manageable, like things that like aren't gonna like gross me out, or like weird me out. That was really good. So when I started this book, I never really read the paper version. I bought it so that it could be on my shelves. But when I started the book in Kindle, I was on page 83, and apparently I was further along than the percentage was saying, which I kind of figured I was, especially when I was comparing it to the bookmark that was like in my book. They had a couple of chapters of the sequel in the end of the book, so I technically finished at like 91% in that book, but I'm not going to read the prequel, the next book. I thought that the book was going to end on a cliffhanger, which is why I was kind of like, oh my gosh, like no way you're not ending like that. But I guess the second book is following kind of like one of the characters, but like the main characters in this book, like their story got wrapped up. So it didn't end on a cliffhanger like I thought it was going to, and that makes me like so happy. And by finishing that, my timer was, I have a reminder on my phone to do my homework. I'm ignoring that. But my timer, we're at 13 hours, 37 minutes, 35 seconds. So I still have quite a way to go. I could probably finish a whole nother book within this 24-hour challenge, which is kind of insane, but I guess it really does put into perspective how much you could read in a certain time frame. But I'm not exactly sure what I want to pick out. Today when I did go with my friends to the book club, we did pick another book for the month of March. But again, because I can finish another book within these 13 hours, I don't think I want to read that and already be done with it before we even begin March. So I can maybe look to see if I have anything currently on my Kindle, just because it's easy to read on the Kindle. Okay, I'm gonna try to look for a book, maybe on my Kindle. Otherwise I'll look through my shelves and maybe I'll pick out a couple of options and I'll let you guys know what I end up deciding. So I have come to the conclusion that I may end up starting this one just because of how thick it is. I think it's like 400, and yeah, I just opened it and it's like 430. So I'll probably want to get a head start on this, but when I do go to the gym, I do like to bring my Kindle and read. So I was kind of looking on my Goodreads for options, and I have so many books on here that like I don't even want to read anymore. And I was like going through like unadding them. I was like, I can't waste my time doing it. So I think I found a book that I was able to find on Kindle Unlimited. Something that I'm not super excited about, but something that I'm like, okay, that sounds like it'd be an easy read, just to kind of keep the momentum going, because I am in the mood for another paranormal or like supernatural romance. Like I don't want to read like a normal like contemporary romance. I don't want to think about like normal people stuff. So the one that I think I'll go with, just because I kind of just want to get it off my list, but it doesn't look so bad, and it's kind of, I guess, kind of on the shorter side. It's 268 pages, but okay, sorry about that. My battery died. I had to put a new one in, but this one's kind of low too. So I'm going to kind of make this quick because I need to charge my batteries, because none of them are, I guess, charged. I'm so well prepared. But I'll input a picture right here of the book that I'll pick. So it's called House of Lies and Sorrow. It's like a fae book. So basically it's like an arranged marriage where she has to like marry one of the faes, I guess, and like she could die, and it's like, should I trust him? Should I not? Obviously, she's gonna trust him. It's a romance book. So I'm just gonna download it onto my Kindle. That way when I do go to the gym, I have something that I can read on here. But physically, I will just start picking this up. So I may just kind of switch back and forth throughout the remainder of the 13 hours that I have. But I'll probably update you guys tomorrow, and I'll let you know if I got any other reading done. Okay, so it's the next day, which is Sunday. And I ended up getting down to about 12 hours last night. So we're at 11 hours and 40 minutes left. And I didn't read the physical book of The Seven Half Death of Evelyn Hardcastle, I was reading more on the Kindle. It is a fast-paced read so far. I am kind of like irritated with the main character. I just think she's so annoying that I know that I probably won't want to read the rest of them in the series, but at least then I can like knock it off my Goodreads list. I am gonna need to dedicate time today to study for my exam tomorrow, but I am gonna just sit and read for a bit until I'm ready to have some lunch, and then I can update you guys a little bit later, towards later of the day, to see how many hours that we're going to finish off Monday with. I do have class, so it's going to be a long day on Monday, but I'm hoping that when I leave campus, I can just come home and read and knock out the rest of the hours. So that is my goal plan. We're more than halfway done now, finally. I feel like it's taking me so long. If I wasn't in school, it wouldn't be this bad. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just get back to reading on my Kindle, see if I update you guys either that I'm under like a couple more hours or that I finished another book. Let's hope. Hopefully the lighting's not too bad, but the sun is set. And where's my Kindle? I finished the book. That was such a fast read. I got down to 8 hours, 8 hours and 58 minutes. And we still have a couple hours because the sun just went down for today. I'm going to definitely read some more tonight, but I do need to probably push that off until towards the end of the night, like when I'm about to go to bed, because I should really probably study for my exam tomorrow. But wow, yeah, that's the third book I finished. That one was so fast. Okay, so it was House of Lies and Sorrow, and I guess it's a multi-series. It's not even like a thing. It's just a series. And so I gave it a 2. It's not that it was horrible, but it's also just like not good. Like I've read so much better than that. I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't really going anywhere. There's not really, I don't want to say there's not much at stake, because the whole point of the book is that she is sent off from her father to go marry like the Fae like prince, and he's had 3 different wives before, but somebody keeps killing them within like one day, or maybe even like before they even met. So she's the only one who's kind of like lasted this long, and he's trying to protect her, but at the same time I just felt like it wasn't really going anywhere, like nothing's really happening. And the main character was bothering me so much, the girl main character is, because she just kept, her thought process was just so irritating. She kept just saying, oh, like you guys don't like me because I'm just a stupid human. And it's like, no one said that, girl. Like, she was just so hateful towards like their kind, and like that's fine, like I get it if there's like a certain backstory, but I feel like it was never really explained why the humans don't like the Fae. I just feel like the writer just could have put more detail into it. It felt more like a Wattpad story where there's no real background that's like developed. Will I continue the series? Yeah, just because it was interesting enough, and I love a good supernatural romance. They did not have very good chemistry. They just didn't like each other, and then all of a sudden they touched, like she got injured and he was like helping her with that, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I kind of like you. Like, no you don't. So there was like a little bit of kissing in this book, but nothing really else, and maybe within the next book it'll get better. But I mean, it's a short read, it's something easy to pass the time, especially just because I can get it on the Kindle. Not necessarily saying that it's something I would recommend though. But anyways, I will probably begin either the second book on the Kindle, or I'll start reading the physical copy of the other book that I have, which is The Seven Half Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. but that may not be till like later tonight, so I probably won't update until tomorrow after I leave school, which will be much later in the day, maybe around 5. So we've got a whole 24 hours until I probably update you again. This is once again taking a lot longer than I thought. I blame school. Don't blame me for being a slow reader because I finished 3 books. Okay, it's school. It's just the fact that I need to study. But yeah, 3rd book down. That's exciting. I will update you tomorrow. For you, since I'm editing this video, time has not passed. But for me, I don't want to talk about what day we're on. It's been a week. Let's just say we're at another weekend. And I have been reading periodically throughout, so I don't remember the exact time that I last updated you guys on, but I am at 2 hours and 46 minutes. Yes, I have a reminder to do my schoolwork. It'll focus. And somehow yesterday my timer got deleted, so I had to estimate that I had 3 hours and 30 minutes left because I was reading in the car and I remember I was at 4 hours and it went down into the 3s, but I couldn't remember exactly any minutes, so I may be off by a couple. At this point, I'm ready to be done. So today my goal is to just get through the last nearly 3 hours. I should be working on schoolwork. At this point, don't care because I would just like to finish. But I did finish that 2nd Kindle book, so we are down another book. And since it is now March, I am going to go ahead and pick up that 7.5 Death of Evelyn Hardcastle, since I'll need to read that for my friend's book club. So I will just read that all the way until the remaining time is up, and then I will just throw in an end of the clip kind of discussion where I talk about how many pages I read. But I've been writing them all down on my little notebook, and I'm genuinely surprised that if I were to sit there for 24 hours, I could read this much. So I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to go through the last 2 hours and 40 some odd minutes, and I will update you when I am finally done. Alright, so I'm here to close the video out. I wanted to go over all the books that I read, and then I did write down in my notebook all the pages. There's a cat here flying. All the pages that I did read within the 24 hours because I finally finished. I feel like this took me so long. Even the editing's taking me a while. This is such a long video. It's gonna be like 40 some odd minutes. So if you stayed this long, thank you so much. And I also want to mention that I did reach 50 subscribers, which is so exciting. So thank you for everyone who is subscribed and currently watching. If you're not already subscribed, please join. It's very exciting to grow a community of people who are interested in the same things that I am, which is books. But anyways, back on track. So I want to go over the books that I did complete. So I did read Hooked, which was the very first book that I read. And with this one, I started on page 268 and ended on page 300. So for that book in particular, I read 32 pages. And then my second book is I read Phantasma. That one I started at page 83 and went and ended it at page 407. So that book in total, I read 324 pages. The third book I read fully through. It was 270 pages. And then I finished an extra book, so that is the fourth book that I finished. That was 298 pages. And then in the last clip that I showed before this recap, I mentioned I was going to start the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So for that one, I got to 89 pages. So that is everything that I have read throughout this whole 24-hour series. That it's finally over. I am very shocked with how much I did get done. But I guess looking at it, 24 hours is quite a while, so it makes sense that you would finish multiple books within a time frame. I just normally don't, I guess, calculate it like that. But I went ahead and did the math. So total books finished was 4 books. total pages read was 1,013 pages, and I went ahead and did some extra just for statistic purposes, was that it takes me on average about, I can read 42 pages per hour. Whether or not that's fast, I don't care. I'm just honestly glad to not have to start the timer anytime I want to read, and it was definitely a fun challenge. It definitely took me longer than I initially thought, but I am very glad that I was able to complete it. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will just see you in the next one. Bye.